All right, welcome everybody. Sitting out here in my shop, and this is the first one I've done, so y'all bear with me. I've added Matt Henderson, CVR Race Cars, and Tyler Webb. He attended this year's 2021 Racelogic Crate Late Model class. So as soon as they get on, we'll get on here and talk a little bit about their season, what they've done, and what the upcoming year looks like, and maybe answer any tech questions for Matt on the crate late model side. So you guys just bear with me a little bit. Before they come on, I do have, I still got a few XL and large hoodies and shirts. They're both in red. I do have some black, I think XL and large shirts. So any of you that may want that, just contact me through Messenger or whatever, and we'll get that. We'll get them ordered, get them sent out to you. But like I said, I'm just waiting on Matt and them to jump on here. It's the first time I've done this where we add other people, so they may be just a minute before they get on. And if you guys got any tech questions, I can see your comments. Hi, Roy. I can see your comments in the corner. So if you got any tech questions, just kind of keep them as simple as you can, since we're kind of limited on time. But we'll ask Matt and them guys as soon as they can jump on here. And Roy, you're actually the guy who turned me on to StreamYard, so hopefully it works out good. Like I said, I'm working. Hopefully them guys can jump on here pretty quick. It's the first time I've done it, so I'm not sure if I'm doing anything wrong or not. But probably some guests I'm going to have coming up. I know Wade Cross will be on with me. Dave Hammond will at some point in the next few weeks. Mike Nichols, I'm going to try to get him on. I'm going to do some special guests. Maybe Josh with My Race Pass, kind of talk about that. I just kind of want to do some different things. Ben Baker, just some different people who's been through the class and that maybe can help you guys talk about some new products and all. Maybe they'll be able to, give some insight into what's new out there. Let me see here. I think I'm still having a little bit of trouble, so let me see what I'm missing right here. Let's see. All right. Tyler said he's having to download, so it could be just a minute for him. And Matt may be the same deal. I think you got to have StreamYard before you can actually come on live with me. So y'all just have to hear me talk for a little bit. I've been asked already what 2022 looks like. Well, hopefully COVID is gone enough to be able to spread out a little bit. I mean, the only thing I know right now is there'll definitely be a 2022 crate late model class, maybe two of them, who knows, it went over so big this year. We had a full house and the online version, which I didn't mention earlier, will be, it's still available. So any of the classes we did this year, the street stock metric at high roller, the IMCA stock car class in Nebraska with Mike Nichols and Wade, and then the crate late model class, they'll all be available online at www.racelogic.vip, and you can bundle the two stock car classes just for $100 extra bucks. Something I wanted to do if guys want to kind of look at both of them. They'll be able to do that. I'm not sure. Let me ask Matt real quick if he's having trouble getting on. Because I'm not. This is the first time I've done it, so I'm kind of. There's Matt. Matt, you with me? Let's see. Let me jump him on here. There you are, Matt. You there?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Everybody out there, this is Matt Henderson. I believe Tyler's popping up now, possibly. Matt, you sitting in your living room?
Yes, sir.
All right.
I was going to do it at the shop, but
Can you
Tyler,
guys see me?
Yeah, I can see you. You're a little bit dark, so I don't know what room you're in, but I don't think it really going to matter a whole lot. I'm going to a little bit. All right. All right, Matt, I'll let you go first. Tyler may a little bit be shy there in the background. Matt, just kind of tell everybody who you are. I know work with CVR and stuff, so you might just give everybody a little rundown real quick and kind of what your role is there at CVR.
Well, I don't know that I have a role. I'm at Henderson. I drive the house car for CVR. I do a little bit of everything there, just whatever needs to be done. More customer relations and managing that side of things. Just trying to keep things going, parts coming in, parts going out to customers, helping with tech support, things of that nature, just trying to take stuff off Chip, the guy that is the mad scientist of the whole thing, just trying to take some of the load off of him and then just go racing as often as I can.
Okay. Tyler, I know you came to the class this year. How many years you been racing, Tyler? I'm not sure.
My dad, we've been racing probably since I was 8. I'm 26 now. My dad raced for a while when I was a kid, and we stopped for about 10 years. And I graduated high school, and I wanted to get a car, so I've been saving up money. And me and my dad finally got a car, and we got into it a few years back. I started with an enduro car, and I just had bad luck. So I went and found a late model. So I bought a late model and got into it. And we've been racing. This year's my second year in a late model, my third year in a car. But before that, we've done go-karts, and I even raced, we got 4 racing lawnmowers. They do about 40 mile an hour, 50 mile an hour. We race them sometimes. And so we've been around racing about my whole life. But me personally in a car this is my second year, and we've been doing pretty good.
Yeah, I've seen some of your results, Tyler. Kind of tell the audience out there. Some people haven't been to a class before, and I think you said it was your first one. So
That's right.
Kind of tell the guys what you learned and what's really helped. I know you've qualified well and had a couple decent runs, and just kind of tell them what the truth of what you learned. I know you're new into it, so just kind of tell them what you learned out there that's helped your program this year.
I got you. Overall, the whole class, I tell you that my favorite part of the class, I mean, there's a lot of it that was good, and I loved the whole thing. But one of my favorite things was when everyone was asking questions, because then you got to figure out, like, I got to see, okay, what this guy's problem was, and you guys had to answer to his problem and the other guy and so on and so forth. And then when it come to my problems, you guys helped me out with that. And my biggest thing was, learning since I was new was learning how to change the car to the track. That's a big thing to learn because you can go from in dirt racing, you can go from hero to zero quick with one change. It could put you in or put you out. And the class really helped me with figuring out what I need to do when the track changes. And I learned a lot from different guys answering questions and stuff. And the main thing that has helped us this year, is I went from basically paying somebody to set my car up. If I bumped something or did something wrong and I didn't feel comfortable with it, I had to take it an hour or two after work down the road to my buddy Brian Hansford and everything, and he'd set everything back, and make me feel comfortable and send me back home. And after a while, after a few times, he's like, "Man, you really ought to check out Racelogic." And I was like, "Yeah, you think so?" He's telling you, man, if you don't learn nothing from that school, he said, "I don't know, you need to just stop racing." And ever since my first race this year, since the class, we went at Needmore. And I usually finish 15th, 16th, 12th, 13th, been running in there. My first race, we qualified 6th and then got knocked down back to 3rd. So we qualified 9th. I mean, we got knocked back 3 spots. So we qualified 9th. And then we ran, I mean, I was running good, ran up to 6th, and the car was doing great. I could have changed a few things, to make me run a little better. And that's something that I learned in the class, that helps me. Every time I go, I learn something. And from the class, I've gained, I mean, even this past weekend, we ran at Deep South. I qualified 3rd. Kevin Mitchell, the guy I got my car from, we out-qualified him. Osmond Jones, guy that wins there almost every weekend. He's known to win there. We out-qualified him. I mean, we qualified with Dale Lucas, a good buddy. He came to the class. He qualified ahead of me. And then Hunt the front, they were the fastest car. But, I mean, it's just I had a buddy text me the other day. He's like, hey, man, how was your couple seconds of Hall of Fame in the Hunt the front blog? I was like, man, that was cool, that was great. But it's like Monty said the other day on Facebook, I read, it's them notes we got from the class. His notes got his picture taken the other night. And that's what I'm working on, and it's already got me up in the top 5, top 3. And I'm that much closer from just using my notes out of the class. And it's just, it honestly, it blows my mind. I mean, even like just breaking down the maintenance. When we went through maintenance things, I thought we did pretty good on maintenance in my shop and then with our program, but after the school and come to find out, we wasn't doing half the stuff we need to. And it's these things that you wouldn't think about, that really count in the long run. And I mean, honestly, since we went to the school, we work more in the shop and race more at the track instead of working more at the track than we used to, because I mean, we check everything now. We got like a whole list of everything, and the biggest thing is I tell you, Mr. Dave at Dave Hammond's Motorsports, that man's a genius, because I went from not knowing nothing about the front end or not being able to do anything to my car, and I got his angle finder for the caster and camber and all for the front end. And man, I tell you, the first night I got it, I about threw a couple wrenches through the wall. I was trying to figure it out, and I just wanted to figure it out so bad, and I couldn't. And my buddy's like, just sleep on it. We'll come back. And I called Brian Hansford, and he talked to me the next day and explained it to me again, and I finally figured it out the next night. But from that night on, that tool, I don't even remember how much it cost, honestly, but it saves me. I can't even tell you how much money, and I get to check my car every week now, and it makes me more confident, because now if I'm wanting to say, oh, the track was a little rough, I might just check the front end geometry and check everything, see if everything's where it needs to be, and I can do that now. I don't have to call Brian Hansford and be like, hey man, are you free today after work? What time do you get off? And so a lot of that, it helps in ways that you wouldn't think. I mean, it's being confident in your car out there on the track. That's a big part of winning. You can't go out there and say, we might make it. It don't work. You might win one weekend, but you're not gonna go out there and be competitive.
Sure. Well, Tyler, that's honestly that's the kind of stories. I know me and Matt talked for about a year. And I'll give you some quick background. I met Matt last year. He came to my street stock class and kind of helped us to pull down rig. Never met the guy before in my life. I'd heard about him racing. Of course, I'm in in Arkansas, and he's out. You guys are out east, and I know you're south.
Right.
But anyway, I talked to Matt, and I said, I heard his name. He said, man, I really think we need to do a crate class and crate late model class. And I'm like, man, I know that's one of the fastest growing classes in America right now. And
it really is. You can't even buy. It's hard to find a crate motor.
Sure. Yeah. And so, me and Matt talked, and I done, I always do, people ask how I pick guys. Well, integrity, there's a lot of things that go into why I do one of these. And so I done my research on Chip at CBR, because I didn't know these guys. And all I heard was positive. They were like, man, you need to jump on board and do this deal. And Matt had the same philosophy I did. I mean, racing's hard enough. It's expensive enough with everything going on. And, guys need help, and they need true, real help, not somebody, not somebody blowing smoke at you. And I told him, and Matt can tell you this when I get done here talking. I said, Matt, if your heart's not 100% in and you don't want to give good, valuable information, I'm not going to do this class. I don't have to do them. I don't have to do this to make a living. I got a full-time job that I just come home from 30 minutes ago. But I said, if you want to help racers, that's what I'm about. And he said, man, I'm dedicated to doing this, because he said, I started out, didn't know anything, and I had to learn on my own. So anyway, that's kind of how we kind of came to where we're at now. And I think Matt probably, elaborate on that a little bit more. But man, what a class. I've done a lot of them. I mean, in 21 years, but that crate class just blew me away. I mean, at the information, the people there. And so, I mean, I think they've done a great job. And Matt, you got anything to kind of add to that?
Yeah, I went to the Racelogic class. Kind of a fire drill. You just called me spur of the minute. Somebody else was supposed to take the pull down rig to your street stock class, and something fell through, and I was the backup plan. So I came to it, and I saw that the thirst for knowledge, man. The guys were just struggling and needed help. And I got thinking about all the people that I helped and sell parts to, and everything that I do in crate late models and late models all the way through. And I'm like, man, there's nothing out there to help these guys, So we kind of hit it off, and tried to we tried to
I
get
thought I'd throw that up.
where we could organize a class to do that. And having Chip there, who's genius. You had Robbie Bilbrey, you had Ben, you had Hammond, you had Steve Hendren. It was just unreal. Kate Dillon, there was just so many people you had that all the wins that they had combined was unreal, and they were willing to give you real information that they had learned, and they learned it by doing it the wrong way and figuring out the right way. It was information that saves you hours and thousands of dollars figuring out on your own, and stuff you may never figure out. It's just unreal, the knowledge that was there.
Yeah, I agree. And I know, Tyler's thanked me several times personally, and that means a lot to me. Like I said, like I said, I've done these a long time, and I always tell people this. They ask me, why do you keep doing it? Well, yeah, I make a little money doing it. But I don't have to do these. I've never had to do them. I've got my living that I do every day, and my wife does. But to see a guy like Tyler that was struggling back there in the back, or whatever, and a year or two, he's probably going to get out of it. He's tired of throwing money at it, couldn't earn it. And I tell people this: not everybody that's came to a class is going to go win a race, but I guarantee you, everybody came and listened. No matter where we're at or what we're doing, you've learned something. $400, Tyler. I guarantee you'll agree. You learn that in the first hour.
I'd say I saved so much money. You can't. When I was thinking, when Brian told me about the class, I was like, $400. I was like, man, I don't got it. I just bought a new car. I'm on my second motor. I blew one motor on my first year and had to buy another one. I'm on my second carburetor. I'm like, $400. That $400 saves me. Let's just say, okay, Brian Hansford, he didn't charge me to set my car up much. He was just whatever you give me. But I'm not going to take my car to somebody and not give them nothing, So when I go to Brian, I'd give him at least $100 or so. And I've been to him a bunch of times. So let's just say I've used the knowledge from that school. If I've used it 5 times, that's $500. Okay. That right there is already more than the class. You can't, the amount, you can't put an amount on that knowledge that people are telling you, man. It's like Matt said, the time that they've saved us and the information that they've gave you, that's come from doing it right, doing it wrong, spending thousands of dollars, putting cars on the dynos, late nights in the shop. I used to wonder before the class, people would say, oh yeah, I'm going to the shop to find speed. I'm like, how do you find speed in the shop, man? What am I doing wrong? What do I need to do? What's going on? What are they doing that I'm not doing, And after the school, I'm like, okay, now I know. I'm more confident. I know I know why they're going to check their stuff, and I know why they're double checking 3 times and doing in the shop every night. I know why now. I'm not wondering. I'm not guessing. I'm that guy. I'm in the shop every night. I just got back from the shop. If we didn't have to do this tonight, I promise I'd be at the shop right now. And that's just how I am. And that's what I've learned is if you don't win, races are won at the shop. Honest to goodness. You double check and work hard and like go to that school. The knowledge we learned from the school, I could not. I'm telling you, I used to race go-karts and you go ask a guy, hey man, what gear are you on tonight? He'd give you the right gear. Same thing in late model. I'd go out, hey, what gear should I run? Such and such, I'm running this. That's a good gear. It's close. It's not first. It's not going to get you where you want to be. And people don't tell you that information. Sometimes you can't buy that. the information that we learned from the guys at the school, you can't go out and buy that. You know, for my first year, I spent a lot of money, honestly, because I didn't have nobody to tell me what to do or anybody to lean to, you know, to say, hey, what do you think about this or that? I had to just buy it. And then if it wasn't right, you know, or if it didn't work how I wanted or it didn't work out, it wasn't what I needed, I had to go buy the right thing. And then here I am, I'm doing twice the work, spending double the money. And like you said, in another year or two, I'd have been, I got a kid, I got 3 kids, you know, a mortgage. You can't just throw all your money in racing, and we don't do this to make money. You know what I mean? Like, if you're doing this to make money, not in 602 class, you know. Some guys can, but it's just, you can't, after a while, you don't want to throw so much into it. And that from the class, honestly, since we've left, I've saved, I can't tell you the amount of money I've saved just from, honest, I mean, how my car works now with the tires and everything, I'm saving on tires, honestly. It's how I use my tires and how I grind them, and I, I can't tell you how that my car and my program has changed 100% since the class. Like, it blew me away the first race, honestly, because I didn't even know myself that it was gonna change us that much. And when we went out there the first race at Needmore, I mean, my buddy Grayson Ott, he won we were there November for the big race they had. It was a 3-day race, the early bird. The night before the race, he had the fastest car and won and everything, you know, and he's going to win the race. The next night, he's leading the race and everything, winning. His power steering goes out, so he didn't get to finish the race, you know, but he was a fast car that night. Well, our first night at Needmore, we were faster than him qualifying, and he ran behind me that night, and he actually pulled me aside in his toter home. He's like, man, you're going to be fast, bro. He's like, I can tell. He's like, a little bit more seat time, and he's like, you're going to be one of the guys up front that the guys are going to be trying to beat. And that right there, just that in the first race, blew me away. I talked to my crew chief, Stanley. I was like, man, just hearing that from somebody like him, you know, that runs in the front, that knows what it takes, speechless. I mean, what can you say? $400, I spend that on a set of tires. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like Matt said, you know, at the school, if you can't afford something for safety or something like tires and you need to take off a weekend to do it, highly suggest taking that week off, you know what I mean, and saving the money and putting it in it, because it will pay off way, way better. I promise you, you'll get your money's worth, your time's worth, and everything. Sometimes
Agree.
it's better that way.
Yeah, agree. Matt, you got anything to add? I know you've debuted a new car, and I ain't just saying this because I know you, but maybe the beautifulest race car I've ever seen in my life. That orange is something pretty.
Sharp.
Yeah, it's sharp.
Yeah.
I know you got banged up a little bit there the first race. Did you do any practice last night in it? You said you were going to do a little practicing maybe?
No, we actually found more wrong with it than we knew from the accident. It made about a lap and a half brand new before it got wrecked. So we found more, and we just decided not to go practice. We're going to test with it another night this week at a track we've got, and but we finished 5th. Man, just had so many things that we hurt in the accident, and just we're really fortunate that we were able to finish 5th. I think we had a better car than that prior to the wreck. I think we were a top 3 car. So it's a brand new car, and I felt like that's a pretty strong night, you know, being damaged and doing that. And it's a CVR house car, and we take pride in what we do. And I feel like you can see that in the details of that car, man. Every piece is powder coated, something trick about it, and it's just a showpiece for the quality that we try to pump into our stuff. And I'm looking really forward to it. We're going to take the next couple of weeks from competition off from it. And I'm going to drive the other car that I drive for Luke Crass Motorsports this weekend at Boyd's. And then I'm going to bring the house car back out at 411 for the Castrol Oils Race Night in America, their kickoff race at 411. So we're going to be there running crates that night. So I'm really looking forward to getting back to 411.
Matt, I think what we'll do real quick, I hadn't seen it. Does anybody got him maybe some tech questions that he can finish up pretty soon? I know we went a little while here, and I appreciate these guys being on and taking 30 minutes out of their night. This is, I'll wait and see if anybody's got any questions, for Matt, maybe on the on the crate late model deal. But, I put that up earlier. I told everybody I got a face for radio. I've never really liked doing these, but I think it's important to let guys like Tyler, that's been through it and been through the class and learned and doing a lot better. I think it's important for everybody to see that and bring on a guy like Matt that's races a lot and all over the Southeast, I know. And, if anybody's, just try to give back a little bit. And I'm going to continue to have people in the industry on. I don't know who all yet. I've got a whole list that I think will join me for 20, 30 minutes on a Wednesday night, and try to keep doing these, keep guys updated what we got going on, how their season's going, what they learned, and all. But Matt, I'm assuming you guys are swamped at the shop. I know when I talked to you here a few days ago, you said it's just insane right now.
It's unreal, man. I don't know where all the businesses come from. We just shipped a brand new car to Louisiana. We've got 3 more we're trying to finish up in the next week, 10 days. Our goal is to have another 4 out in 2 weeks. So we're really hustling, trying to get all this work pumped out. I sold another new one yesterday, and then we're doing body work and repairs and just unreal stuff. And people are using the gift certificate to MHR to Matt Henderson Racing that they got at the school. We're shipping parts out daily. It's unreal. We're really blessed to be where we're at, considering where some people were in 2020 and the things they've had to do with their business. We're really blessed where we're at in the market right now.
Right. Matt, I was reading right before I came on, and I know me and you talked a little, and I hear Henderson talking. Getting parts right now and metals went out the roof. I mean, it's, I'm kind of a little nervous. I know the 604 deal, I was listening to Henderson said that you can't even get one hardly right now. So I think the next couple of months are going to be challenging in the racing world.
I bought 2 used 604 motors just to stockpile for us personally to have. Those are going to be a treasure right now. You just can't give them away to anybody. You can't sell them. So I've got those. And then, we took a 14% price increase already since January on just the materials that we need, to build race cars. And, we can't keep taking that. It's a bad place to be in. Eventually that has to go on to the customer. So, it's scary not knowing where the ceiling is for that. Like, when does that stop? Hopefully that's all we're going to see. But on the other side of that, that's just the material to build the race car. On the other side of that, there's no parts. There's no rear ends. There's no transmissions. There's no ball joints. There's no sheet metal right now. Risco's in a bad bind on gloss black, blue. Even white on white now. They're having issues supplying. So we're running into things right now. At least us at CVR, it's just things we've never seen, and it's part of my job to try to get us around some of these obstacles. But I'm sourcing stuff daily and trying to find a different route to go to get some of these part shortages filled. So it's an interesting time for sure. I've never seen anything like it in racing, where I feel like it's basically caused by all the manufacturers not knowing what was going to happen next, with the countries either going to get shut down or people aren't going to be able to work to have money to buy the stuff, and they got behind on their production. And when we got cut loose, everybody wanted to race, and now there's no parts in inventory to do that with. I know Brin Transmission was behind 328 transmissions, and that's a huge number,
Sure.
So it's a big deal. It's going to be interesting the next couple of months. only those that are prepared will be at the racetracks in a couple of months.
Right. Well, Matt, I didn't see anybody jump on no text questions, which kind of surprised me a little bit. Maybe next time we'll jump you back on. I figured somebody wanted to know how to turn left and go fast, but I didn't see anything. Do what, Tyler?
I said Racelogic. That's how.
That's it. Well, listen, guys, I appreciate it. Y'all coming on. I know we took about 30 minutes. I wasn't sure how long it would take, but I think it's something great. We'll keep doing it. Like I said, I've got a pretty long list of lineup that I'm going to do over the next couple of months. Some different instructors, different cars. I want to get Ben with AFCO on. I think he can talk a lot about the part shortages. And I'm sure after Bristol coming up, there are going to be a lot more part shortages after they wipe some of them out up there. So we'll keep continuing to bring guys on. And I know me and Matt's talked a little about what next year holds with Racelogic. It's going to happen, and it may happen more than one time. But we got a couple special deals maybe that it's going to surprise some people if one of them comes through where we might do one at. It's a lot of work. I tried to take a month or so off here after my year from last year and get a little bit of rest and then get back after it. But we're definitely going to have a couple more, and we're going to keep hammering what we done last year, and I think it's played. And guys, y'all know it. Tyler, I don't know if you got to watch it online. Have you watched any of it online since the class? Have you went back and studied any of it?
I haven't. Honestly, I got my notes y'all gave me from the class, and I wrote down on them, and
that's good.
At them right there, I wouldn't leave them nowhere before we leave the racetrack. I make sure them things put somewhere safe, because if them babies gone, whew,
yeah,
I can have them. I'll be.
Well, I do know we've had a lot. You can buy the online version if anybody wants to out there and watch it. Stop, fast forward, rewind. And we offered that free to everybody in the class. It's something new I done this year. I try to want to have guys every opportunity. Some people can't retain it all or ain't good at taking notes. You're pretty young, Tyler. Some of us old guys don't take notes very well. So any of them can go back and watch it. And it's all broken into sections. Thank to Miss Kate Dillon. She's probably one of the smartest, brightest ladies in the industry. She went in and done it. So, if you're talking about front end or whatever geometry, Spring Smasher, it's all broken into sections, so you can go in and watch that. So anybody that does want to buy it online, they're able to do that. So listen, guys, I know it's late. I know Matt's an hour ahead of me there. I appreciate y'all coming on, and Tyler, keep me up on your season this year.
I am. I want to thank you guys. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be where I am without y'all. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, we was, like I said, 12th, 13th, 15th. I've raced 2 times this year. I've already been top 3 and 6. I mean, I couldn't ask the cars there. I mean, it's me. I got to work on me. And other than that, I mean, nobody can work on me but me. I mean,
that's right. Well, Tyler, you'll get that first win coming up. And I promise you, there won't be nobody happier than Matt and Chip and the guys on the team. I send them a lot of the messages and stuff, and I talk to them on a regular basis. So when you knock that first win out, let us know. I'll probably be smiling bigger than any of them, because that's why I do these things.
And I sure thank y'all so much for taking the time and doing it, flying and coming or driving, however you got there, from how many hours. I mean, like I text you, I message you, you see you told everyone. I just, from the bottom of my heart, guys, last year I didn't know where I was going to be this year. Now I'm in the top 10 easy everywhere I'm going to be. I just have a feeling we're going to be someone to be recognized. And thanks to y'all.
Sure. Yeah, you'll get a win soon. Matt, I appreciate you guys. And I'll talk to you in a few days. And everybody out there, thank y'all for watching. I know it took us a little while, but some great stuff there. And we'll try it again next Wednesday night at 7. Tyler, keep up the good work. And Matt, be safe. And I'll see you guys soon.
Thank you, guys. Y'all keep us updated on them schools. I'm probably going to go to another one. I mean, you can't never learn too much.
That's right. All right. See you guys.
Thank you.
All right,
see y'all.